I am your host, Portia Monique, and it's definitely a pleasure to speak with you ladies. You ladies have done something dynamic. You are portraying the first rap duo pioneering rap legendary group, first female group of all time. Let's get into it. Walk us through the movie. Tell us what it was like playing these rap female icons, and tell us what you learned. So we'll get started with you first, Laila. How was it portraying Peppa and bringing her to life on screen?
Portraying Peppa was like obviously such an honor, but it was so much fun because the thing is, even though the movie is about their accomplishments and music being groundbreaking, it's still about friendship. And it's amazing because I knew Gigi prior to booking the role. And I think because we shot in Toronto, our friendship, our bond just kind of grew because of we're portraying two women that are going through an industry that we also are a part of, not music, but still entertainment. And it was such an honor to be able to act, sing, rap, dance. That's a dream for any actor, to be able to combine multiple talents that you have. And it's so crazy to watch them go from like teenage, young, early adulthood to grown women, mothers. And okay, what is all the beeping about?
I'm not sure who's beeping.
That was me. No. That's me. Like, my computer is acting very special today. I was trying to keep it under wraps, but okay. But it's such an honor, and it was a pleasure and an honor to work with Mario, with the girls, with Gigi. So all around for me, it was a learning experience, but just being able to honor women of color, Black women in such a field was, for us, it's nothing but a blessing to be able to do that and bring that to a new generation of people that might not know Salt-N-Peppa. Now they know us.
Absolutely.
Right. Couldn't have said it better.
You guys did a wonderful job. Gigi, you played Salt. How was it portraying Salt on the screen?
I mean, this role was definitely the largest as far as the responsibility of the weight of what we're talking about, and just the weight of us starring in a film. So that was a first for me. But even to carry the weight of portraying her, and what the fans are going to expect out of me, but at the end of the day, because I had and Laila and I both had them literally in our corners cheering us on, fine tuning everything. Like, they're the bosses. You'll see in multiple interviews, they're like, we were the bosses, and they were. If something wasn't right, they're like, no, I wouldn't do that. So they were there. So as far as, there was a high responsibility to play her, but at the same time, there was a comfort, and, I could chill a little bit because I knew that there was nothing that I couldn't have answered if I had questions. It's not like other people having to do biopics and having to figure out all the answers on their own, or having to draw from what they think they know from interviews. Like, we only had to do interview research when the audition process was happening, but after we got to know them, it was like, okay, so what's really happening? What happened here? Like, let's talk about it. So I think that was dope for the both of us to not have a missing piece. There was no stone unturned with us. Whether it was stuff that actually made the movie or not, like, they were open books for us. So yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second, because you said they were the bosses, so they obviously were there helping you and coaching you and walking you through. What type of coach were they? Were they like the very demanding coaches that was like, "Now you did that wrong," or were they very friendly, very inviting? Like, how would you say they coached you into portraying themselves?
Oh, they were. I think for like we both have our own stories, but it's and I guess I can't say it like this unless you know them, but the way they coached us is exactly how they are in real life. So, you know, Cheryl was really soft and mild mannered and loving, and you know, not saying that Pep wasn't, would, you know, call Layla out, no, can't do that. You know, everything that Layla is Pep. So what you see is how Pep is in real life, for sure.
Like seriously, I was talking to Gigi about that yesterday. There's just a spirit that she has that I share with her, and it's fun. It could be a little reckless, but I think like in your youth, you are a little reckless. And to think about it, like you were going to school to be a nurse, and then all of a sudden, like you really just get thrusted into the spotlight and into stardom. Like 18, 19, 20, even 21, that's still very, very young. So you're going to be a little like reckless, but it's fun. But like G said, Salt and Peppa are two different people, but when you put them together, they work very well together. It makes sense. It's a yin and a yang, like it just works. And they have to look back 35 years to understand, like, we've been doing something right.
Yeah.
To last this long, we've been doing something right.
Absolutely. Now, I did see a couple of those interviews with Salt and Peppa as themselves, right? And one of the interviews, Peppa was talking about the audition process and how she wanted her daughter to portray her. And, you know, she taught her daughter what to say, what to do. And her daughter said, I went in there and they was like, we don't want none of that. So talk about getting the role, talk about your audition process and getting the role kind of sort of over her daughter, which to me would have seemed like, you know, the natural fit, right? Because it's my daughter. Who else knows me better than my daughter? So talk about that audition process and how you landed the role.
Okay, so I love Egypt. Egypt is a very sweet young woman. Egypt is like 20 something. We go from basically 19 to about like 30s, late 30s. I think it was important for them to cast actresses, and you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure she did a bomb job, but there's sometimes there's a little bit more that's necessary. And they cast O'Shea's son to play him in a film. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it's like it might not work. You know what I mean? Like when you are the child, like let's just be honest, Egypt is the first Blue Ivy. Think about it. Both of your parents are rappers and successful ones. Like she's the first Blue Ivy, like kind of sort of just not, Beyonce is not a rapper, but obviously like she's a star kid. I just think that to make the story work, it works better with two actresses that we don't know. It's something different when you're like, that's her daughter. Yeah. But not to give anything away, she's still in the film and she does an amazing job. And Salt's daughter is in the film and she does an amazing job. So it's still a level of family there. We get that, you know, someone wants their own lineage to play them. We get it, but that didn't happen. And it's okay, because I still did my thing. I brought Pep to life. So that's the most important thing. Like I'm still an actress 20 years. I can handle this. And I'm not saying that Egypt couldn't, but it just, you know, like they went another way. And it just, you know, it is what it is. It's not a negative thing because she, like I said, she's still a part of the film. But I think that to make it work, they got two girls that that knew each other. It's like we're telling their story through our story. So it's, to me, it just kind of made sense to go with two actresses rather than like her daughter. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely. And it's interesting that you said about Ice Cube and O'Shea Jr., his son. I was watching an interview with them as well, and they were talking about the audition process and how, you know, he really went in there and gave it his all. And they were like, well, you might not get it, you might not do this. And I was sitting there thinking, like, they knew exactly who they was gonna cast as Ice Cube in that movie. So I didn't necessarily believe it. But then when you see a situation like this, because like I said, the natural fit for me was the daughter, right? And then you're like, oh, well, maybe the casting piece of it is real. Like maybe they do have real auditions. I was just thinking that, you know, when O'Shea was cast as his dad, I was like, they knew they was gonna do that anyway, so why they playing? Anyway, Gigi, what was it like for you in terms of your audition process? Walk us through your audition process as well.
So both me and Laila auditioned for a month and a half. So it was a very long audition process. You know, they had girls all over the country submitting tapes. We had multiple producer sessions, director sessions. You know, Mario would Skype in and say, okay, I like this, do this. Now, you know, me and Laila would have an audition together. Me and someone else would have an audition together. Laila and someone else would have an audition together. So there was a lot of mix matching. Yeah, they definitely went through a ton of girls. Not only did we have to rap, we had to dance. Mario made us freestyle.
yeah.
Like on the spot. Leah Daniels was the casting director. She comes out of the office and it's like, so Mario wants y'all to freestyle. Just keep that in mind. And I'm sitting there like, in the email, but here we go. So, you know, he definitely threw all the curveballs at us just to see how we handled it and see if we would buckle under pressure, because that's really important. And, you know, doing a role like this and, you know, playing the stars of the film, you really need to make sure that your actresses will not buckle under pressure. You know, so he definitely set the groundwork and was throwing all his curveballs, and it didn't change once we got to Toronto. He was making sure that he had the best person, or the best people. But even beyond, you know, outside of Mario doing his thing, the girls were watching every tape. You know, like we had to get signed off. It wasn't like Lifetime was like, these are the girls, and they were like, okay, cool. Nah. They watched everything. When I say they were the bosses, they were the bosses. And they said, Laila, yep, because they have this soul tie, which is bizarre. And, you know, Cheryl for me was like, yep, she's the one. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Laila.
No, I'm just co-signing what Gigi says. It was very, very true. Sometimes artists or the estate of an artist is not a part of a biopic, and that's not true for this situation. Like they were there, they knew exactly what was happening. Like Pep knows Gigi, I know Salt. Like it wasn't any like funny business, you know what I mean? And it's really important just to state that like the casting director had Leah Daniels Butler cast Gigi in a prior project. She cast me in a prior project. So it wasn't like, oh, we don't know them. Like we know them. Like, I think sometimes people don't have the right idea of what happens in Hollywood. They just think that like people just are stars overnight. Like this is not overnight. This is a lot of work put into it. It's like respect what we do. It's not just all glamour and like that happens the last week of like right now is the glamour and the glitz.
Right.
You guys don't realize there was so much work put into it. Like honestly, and it's so important for us to say, no, the group played a huge part. And like we wouldn't be, I don't think it would be an honest portrayal if they didn't. And since they did, it is like there's no surprises. There's no like, I don't know know she was doing that. Like, no, remember that day you were there? You tried to do it. So the cat's out the bag. I just think that it was such a like amazing opportunity for those two, and then me and Gigi to be able to portray them. And they have, obviously their daughters are in the film too, so no one is left out. And it's just a great opportunity for all of us.
I love that. I love that. So you guys, we heard you say it before, Gigi, and you kind of co-signed it, Laila. How close are you guys to the actual Salt-N-PEPA? Like we heard you say that you're soul ties and whatnot, but how close are you to having the same personality, the same, that type of thing? Laila, we'll start with you first.
I'm gonna do it the opposite way. Gigi and Salt are very similar. There's a similarity there. And then when you get us together, then you see it. Like when it comes to Gigi, like in the film, there's a moment where Pep is protecting Salt and she like swings on somebody. I'm protective of Gigi, like I'm bigger than Gigi. I'm always like, G, are you okay? G, are you all right? And even we would be shooting, I would just randomly give her a hug, like, it's cool, I got you, it's fine. And I think that that's their personalities like lived in us, and that's how we were able to like really bring them to life. Like I'm the loud one. Like me and Gigi are very good at good cop, bad cop. I'm always the bad one. Like it's me. I'm the bad one, but it's like it works though. Like I'm like, gee, like she'll be nice. She already know I'm not gonna be nice. So perfect. Like, so it works. Like honestly, I just think that there's certain personality traits that G just embodies of Cheryl, and I just embody of Sandy. This like it's something very innate. It's something very that it can't be taught. It can't be. It's already in me, kind of to be like that. So I think that's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Like that's really what it is.
What about you, Gigi? How much of Salt do you see in yourself? How much do you think that you guys are alike and or not?
I think we're a lot alike, but it took till we were in Toronto and when they were actually shooting their scenes. And this is the first time. So we had been with the crew maybe like a month at this time when they had shot their last scene. And we broke for lunch. Everybody came back out. And me and Laila just walking around, and Evan, our sound guy, was like, did you guys know each other before you did this? And we were like, nah, why? He was like, yo, knowing y'all for this past month and then meeting them, y'all are the same people, temperament wise, on screen, off screen, just chilling. He was like, yeah, y'all are the same people. And
like seriously.
But in seeing them on screen, I was like, oh, yeah, Leah knew exactly what she was doing. Like, yeah. And they saw that, because they were seeing each other, like, Cheryl, I'm sure, was seeing the Peppa's tapes and Pep was seeing the Cheryl tapes. So they knew exactly what they were doing when they put us together. Because like I said, we had to get mixed and matched through the final rounds. So it wasn't like me and Laila were together the whole time. Like we weren't. It just so happened to work out that we made it out in the end.
Exactly. But like, honestly, my first day of shooting, somebody on like one of the crew guys was like, your mom is here. I was like,
yeah.
My mom, like, hold on, my mom don't even really know where I am. They thought that Pep was my mom. I'm like, yeah. What are y'all talking about? But it worked, like literally, like it worked, honestly.
We definitely felt it in your performances, and it felt like you guys were, soul ties. It felt like you were actually her and you pulled it off on screen so beautifully. So congratulations to you two on that. there were some things in the movie that surprised me, right? So in the opening of the film and everybody was working at Sears. Number one, I didn't know everybody worked at Sears.
Yeah.
I was like, Kid Blade, Martin, like y'all just know everybody. So what were some of the things that kind of surprised you in the film as portraying your respective selves or your respective characters?
G, you start. Oh, you want me to?
Gigi, we go with you.
For me, it was all the juicy details about Herbie and Cheryl's relationship. And even us having conversations about, not only going through the script, but her telling me the real details that didn't even make it into the script. And I was just taken back by a lot of it. And that's why I constantly praise her, because she's just so poised, and she ain't never got the cops called on her, and she way better than me, because I had it.
Yeah. I don't know how you go that long in a relationship and then you're not in a relationship, but you're still working together. I didn't get it. Yep.
Yeah. For me, because Salt and Herbie had such a relationship before, you know what I'm saying? Like before Pep is introduced, I love their dynamic. Like I love seeing them together. That was something that I didn't know they went together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way for me to put it. I didn't know it was a thing until like getting the script and like watching them. I didn't know a lot of the issues with her and Tretch, and that was like a time that I can say I remember it. I don't remember prior, but I know that part. You know what I mean? And Pep has a book. It's all Let's Talk About Pep, where she goes into like details, and I use that book as an outline in addition to her to kind of see like where we are in the story. And this is the thing, I want to say this. It's not about us being dead on looking like them or being dead on sounding like them. It's still a movie. Like let's be very clear. It's still a movie. It's still to entertain. It's not a documentary that comes after the movie. So some things are like hyped up, and some things are not talked about at all, but you still see the relationships play out. You still say, oh, this is what was happening when they were shooting that song or when they were shooting that video. That's the actor, that's the acting that comes into play. So I don't want people to think that it's like we're telling a story. No, it's still acting. It's still a level of like, the story is bigger than what it might have been, but there's still, because we respect their legacy, it's still all done in truth. It's still all done in honesty. So I think that's like a key thing that I didn't know. Was so many things that I didn't know about them. Like I didn't know that Salt had an eating disorder. I did not know that until I read the script. And then to see G like perform that, like that's not easy. And that's not something that like normally in our culture or in our like in hip hop that you would even put together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And talking about relationships and the ups and downs of relationships, and I know we're about to wrap, but you guys go through kind of like a friendship breakup, right? So a friend breakup, and it was hard to watch. I imagine it was harder to kind of film, and then, after film, it's like, cut, okay, we're back friends. But but walk us through what it was like filming that scene, and then let us know, have you ever had a relationship breakup, a friend breakup?
Yeah, it's crazy. I said that to G because when I was shooting that scene, G was like 3 feet away from me. Like I could hear it. But the thing is, breakups with men, like, oh, they hurt. But breakups with girls, they hurt too. And they hurt in a different kind of way because you feel like you probably shared a lot with that, with her, and it hurts. It hurts different than a man, but it equally hurts. And I've experienced that. And I remember telling Gigi, like, I had to like go back and tap into hurt that I felt from females, not from men. That's a different emotion. So you have to be very clear on, like, your best friend is telling you, like, I don't want to be your friend anymore. Think about how difficult that is. Now we're talking about they have some years in, they have some success. I don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
You know? So I think that was a really big moment for Pep, of realizing that, like, Cheryl knew what she wanted. You know what I'm saying? Like, she knew what she wanted, and she needed to, like, they needed to part so she can get some clarity. And I think G does a great job. Like, when my part of the conversation, I wasn't with G, but how it's cut together, you feel it, like you feel the pain from both of them. And I think that we did a really good job. Great.
Amazing.
It really was. Okay, and we're coming up on our time. So last words, I do want to get into what you guys are working on next, but why should people watch the movie? Why should people watch you guys on screen portraying Salt-N-Peppa, the most memorable, iconic, pioneering female rap duo of our generation?
Well, I think that they should watch it because they're the pioneering hip hop first ladies. But beyond that, they are telling their story the way that they want it told. They, no one else, pulled the rug from up under their feet. They quarterbacked this entire process, and they are sharing pieces of them, and it's in its authenticity and its realness and rawness, the way that they wanted it told. Period. So I think off of the strength of that, these are their wishes and this is what they wanted. Watch it based off of that.
Good answer, G.
Okay, really quickly, what projects are you guys working on, and how can we follow your movement? How can we keep up with you, and what's next on the horizon for you both? Gigi, we'll start with you.
I will be premiering on All American season 3 as a new character, new artist. Coincidentally, I'm playing an artist again. And season 3 starts on the 18th of January. And you can catch me on all social media platforms, GG Townson, TOWNSON, and the lovely Laila.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. Due to pandemic, a lot of things have slowed down, but I'm actually writing and producing my own project that should be coming out soon. And just really enjoying this project and this ride. Like, me and Gigi have 2 billboards. One is on Sunset, one is on Wilshire. Like, I can bask in that for the rest of the year, but you can find me all social media. It's just my name, Laila Odom. And for people who don't know, me and Gigi both have a comedy background. So, like, check us out. We're funny.
Hey.
So thank you both for stopping by Star Studio, telling us your side of the story with the Salt-N-Peppa movie that's coming out on Lifetime. We cannot wait, and we appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and you guys have a great day.
Thank you, Portia. You have the same.
Thank you, ladies. Take care.
You too. Bye.